What's up, YouTube? Capital G here, D and Duel commentary, trying to get some new format duels. Looks like we have Sylvia 245 versus Milkshake Movies. What? Milkshake Movies 1073. Now these ratings probably don't seem that high, especially the 245, but the ratings were just reset 4 days ago, so everybody went back to square one essentially. And I'm not referencing the card, obviously. This is at least game 2 because I did see them in the side. I did see them coming out of the sideboard, and it looks like we have SOLEMN versus Unknown deck. So Sylvia opens up with Deneb. See, guys, you don't even need Rhoda. Don't even need Rhoda. I still think Sknights are going to be a really, really good deck this format. Mainly just because they can play Anti-Spell Fragrance and, like, not be affected at all. I mean, especially now with only one Rhoda. Like, I mean, it used to be that you had to run 3 Rhodas and maybe, like, some upstarts and stuff, some dualities. But now you can, like, outside of one Rhoda and, like, a Book of Moon, which technically you don't even need, like, outside of Rhoda, there's no other card, there's no other spell that you have to absolutely run in Sknights. I mean, I would run 3 upstarts and probably, like, 2 dualities, but you don't have to run Skybridge. You don't have to run Book of Moon. There's a lot of cards you don't have to necessarily run. Galaxy Cyclone is activated. This could be pretty big if it's Book of Moon, fair enough. And an MSC is going to follow that up. So he is whacking out that back row. And he hits an Iron Wall. I wonder if that means we're seeing an Infernoid or maybe a Kozmo. Yeah, it could be Infernoids, could be Cosmos. The back row removal obviously is real right now. As Sylvia has just had 2/3 of his back row wiped out. And he's now, looks like Movies is going to summon Wicked Witch, go for attack mode. I wonder though, how effective this is if he doesn't have a really big follow up, because I mean, we know that Sylvia has, like, we know clearly that he has Altair in his hand, and looks like, before damage step, Movies is gonna activate, it's gonna pay that 1,000 for the Wicked Witch. He must have Honest on the brain, because that's the only reason you would do that. Now Sylvia can just say, well, you know what? Forget it. I'm not gonna use my Honest now. I just got 1,000. He may have actually just bluffed 1,000 life points out of him, because before you go to damage step, you can obviously say, all right, well, if you have no response to attack declaration, I will opt to use my effect. Now, I guess the ball is pretty much back in Sylvia's court. We know that he has Altair. I would expect him to summon it, like pretty much in his main phase, go for maybe a Castella play or something like that. We're gonna have to see if Movies is gonna have, whoa, the shocker. Okay, instead he goes for a completely different play. Don't quite understand this, but okay. To me, this telegraphs, if I'm a Tellarknight player or if I'm playing against Tellarknights, this kind of telegraphs that you have called a haunted set. Although I think he just ended his, okay, what? Instead of going for Altair, he opts to go for Unu, dump Vega, and pass turn. And, okay, so here comes the Farm Girl. And I don't understand why he didn't go for Altair and summon a Castell and get the Wicked Witch off the board, unless he, like, doesn't run Castell or doesn't run a way of getting rid of Wicked Witch, which, like, every deck runs Castell at this point, so let's see if he is once again going to be willing to pay that 1,000. I mean, Sylvia could just be completely bluffing with the Honest or something, but I mean, honestly, a lot of times, if you kind of get wrecked by, if you end up getting wrecked by Farm Girl, like if she gets an attack through, you generally just lose the game, because your opponent is, like, so Tellarknights kind of struggle with Dark Destroyer, and they're going to struggle with those cards, unless you can, like, Trevor the next turn or something like that. You know what I mean? Okay, so, oh, excuse me, it wasn't actually, it was Farm Girl that was attacking. Okay. I thought it was Wicked Witch, but he dropped Honest, which meant that it obviously couldn't have been Wicked Witch that was attacking, so it had to be Farm Girl. So he's, I guess, gonna spend his advantage. Yeah, he's technically spending card advantage. He's spending the Honest to search. So it could be Forerunner, it could be, I don't know, I think Kozmo Town would be better, to be honest. He's going for Dark Destroyer, the $130 Dark Destroyer. He'll get a mess of damage in, though. Like, the amount of damage he gets in this turn is damn near game. If he has a limit of removal, it is game. as obviously he can, you know, banish Farm Girl, summon his Dark Destroyer, and now it's like, dude, if you don't have Trevor, you're just gonna lose. Oh, he's gonna Mind Crush it. Wow, I did not see that coming. So Dark Destroyer is obviously, now here's the thing, do you have to show your opponent, I just thought about that. Yeah, I think you have to show your opponent the hand, because you have to prove that you can't resolve Farm Girl's effect. This is just like Necroz. It just dawned on me, and I never thought about that, because I've never seen Mind Crush used against, what's it called? I've never actually seen Mind Crushed used against Kozmos, but it's like, okay, that made a lot of sense. But yeah, if your opponent, if you Mind Crush the card they're gonna summon, I think they have to show you their hand to prove that they can't summon anything else. Cause he would have still been forced to summon like a Forerunner out of his hand, or a Slip Rider or something like that. So I assume, I'm expecting to see a Trevor here. Cause otherwise, why did you even send the Vega to the graveyard? Like, I think he must have a Deneb in his hand and Altier, and he must want to drop both of them at the same time. Like, the right play here is definitely to like go into Trevor, because like, Wicked Witch, Farm Girl, like, they can't get over a fucking Trevor. Especially if you just, and Diamond's actually pretty good against this deck too, cause you can stop, what's it called? You can stop Wicked Witch's effects. And who knows, you might even hit the Wicked Witch out of their hand, so. I'm thinking he's gonna go Altier, get Vega, and then summon a Deneb from his hand. I could be completely wrong, but otherwise, it just didn't make a lot of sense for him to summon it didn't make a lot of sense, in my opinion, for him to even summon the Unu. Like, if you didn't have a Soul Charger, that's why I thought he had Call to Haunted set. I'm like, oh, he's gonna use Call to Haunted. It's gonna go for Trevor, try and do some wombo combo plays. But, you know what? I've been wrong before on the dual commentary. I could be wrong now. Sylvia must have a hand that requires a lot of thinking here. Let's see what he's gonna do. If he has removal like Dark Hole and Regeki, it's not so good, especially against this card in particular, Wicked Witch, a card that just does not really care about removal. It's just not even good in general against this deck, as all your spaceships just replace themselves, and you know, one of the warriors, like one of the Jedi have, well, I guess Wicked Witch isn't a Jedi, she's a Sith, but one of the lightsaber wielders, I guess, you know, they have a they have a, like, she has a resistance. So, okay, what exactly is the hold up here? What exactly is the hold up? Man, it's been a while. It has been a real while since I've seen a Mind Crush though. Like, I mean, it was when Necroz, right after Secret Forces came out, Mind Crush was like arguably the best card in the game, or one of the, I thought it was the strongest trap in the game, even above Warning. Alright, so let's see if it plays out like I thought it was. The target, I believe, is going to be Vega. I don't think it's going to be Altier. I just think Altier doesn't, like, it doesn't, I mean, well, excuse me, I don't think it's going to be Deneb. I think it's going to be Vega. I don't think what's it called does that much. Alright, so he is going to go for, oh, Maxx C is the counterplay. To be honest, I think you have to just give your opponent the cards. Like, I would just still summon through this, cause you gotta think, the first summon is a one, like, you have to give your opponent, cause you're gonna summon Trevor and get a card out of their hand anyways. I think you just have to go, like, you just have to just go through it, cause you're probably gonna summon Deneb, you're gonna search. Like, to me, I would just summon through the Maxx C, cause, wow, he went for Unu. Oh, that card is, oh, this play is really bad. It would have been way better if he obviously had Deneb, as he'd get a surge, but, dumping to the graveyard, not so bueno. Especially considering you really have to go into what's it called now. You really have to go into Trevor. And you don't get a search, which really bites. But I would still go into Trevor. I would bounce his hands. Trevor, whatever card he draws for Trevor, Trevor is gonna pay for it anyways, because you're gonna get the card right back out of his hand. So, you know, it's really like he only got a +1. Like, the only plus that he got was this card right here. Trevor will take the other card out of his hand. You don't love your position with a Trevor sitting on the field, but it's not the end of the world. Obviously, you'd want like a Storming Mirror Force or some sort of defensive card, but don't always have it. Let's see what he's going to do. Keep in mind, he cannot attack with any monsters this turn that are not Tellarknights, so I'm expecting to see the homeboy Trevor. He is going to summon Trevor in attack mode, oddly enough. Well, I guess the damage is kind of irrelevant, to be honest. Alright, so 6 cards go into Mookie's hand, or Mooby's hand. He is going to hit him. You know what? Actually, I'd summon Trevor in attack mode, because there's a really big difference against Kozmo's like 2600 and 4100, because or excuse me, 26 and 47, excuse me. Yeah, 4700. Considering the Kozmo monsters, a lot of them cost life points to activate, and Kozmo Town to get from the bandage zone costs life points too. So, I mean, yeah, I would go ahead and summon it in attack mode. With Kozmos, you want to get your opponent's life points down really quick, so that potentially you can lock them out of some of those effects, unless they have Forerunner and they get on the field and it just sits there forever. So he does end up losing the Wicked Witch, but he's still going to have 6 cards on his draw. Alright, we're going to see a set. And wonder if that's a Mind Crush, maybe an Alpha Nova or something like that. Alright, so it's gut check time. Movies has double the cards. But Sylvia does have Trevor, which it should pay for itself no matter how it dies, unless it gets like put back in the hands, which means that if it does, you know, it can get Altier, probably Altier in defense mode, get a Deneb, start the whole cycle again, which means it could probably lead to another Trevor. Uh-oh, this is going to change things. We see the reasoning played. Golly, I don't know what you call here. I guess I would just call, wait. He says call 9. I don't think there's a 9. I would call, what's it called? I would probably call 7 here, because we haven't seen a Forerunner yet. So I would call 7. We've already seen a Farm Girl. We've seen a Wicked Witch. We haven't seen, well, we haven't really seen any of the big spaceships. I would just call, what's it called? I would call, well, no. He hit a Dark Destroyer. Hits a 5, or he calls 5 and hits an Honest. Honest summons in defense mode. Obviously, Honest can be bounced right back to the hands. I was not expecting that. I guess the deck does run Wicked Witch, Good Witch, and Honest, so there's a decent amount of 4s. Reasoning, it's really hard to hit in this deck, man. There's so many different random levels. It reminds me of 6 Samurai back in the day. Right after Phantom Darkness came out, when 6 Sams were running 3 reasonings, because they had, you know, they had the 4s, they had Great Shogun Sheen, they just had a ton of different monsters. So the summon looks like it is successful. And if he has a Mind Crush, that would just be like fucking bonkers. If you just Mind Crush and call Honest, like that would be insane. I don't think it's a Mind Crush though. Alright, looks like they're going into damage calculation. That Honest will obviously be used, the same Honest that was just summoned. And I think he's going to have to eat 1500 damage here. Let's see. Alright, so Trevor's going to die. And he'll eat 1500. I think it will be time for both players to activate a bunch of effects. Now here's the thing though. Considering that Moobies paid that 500 light points, if Sylvia gets Deneb and Altier, which I expect him to do right now, if he gets his 3rd Altier, like he could just summon Trevor again and kill you. I hope he knows that you're at 2100 life points, that if he summons Trevor again, like you will just die. Now he will get Dark Destroyer, which can blow up both monsters, but it depends, like if Sylvia has another Teller Knight, he could just summon Vega back, you know what I mean? So this could be really bad. Alright, so he will go for the Dark Destroyer here. And what is that back row? The back row hasn't done anything. It doesn't stop attacks. It doesn't stop summons. He has 2700 life points. So if it was Solemn Warning or anything, obviously he would, obviously rip it. Maybe it's a summon inhibitor or something, but I can't think of what that card could be. It's not another Mind Crush. He would have obviously called the Honest, or probably called Dark Destroyer. Alright, so the Kozmo back row, could be seeing some Kozmo back row action here. Let's see what's gonna happen. Because, I mean, if he has like another monster in his hand alongside Altier, if those are like bluff back rows like MST and Nightbeam and shit like that, then, he could just end up wrecking them with a Trevor, which would obviously put a 2100 on board, and that would just be game. Oh, Solemn Warning! Ouch! Oh, man, and I think that could be game. That clutch Solemn Warning with only 100 life points. Oh my goodness, Call of the Haunted! No, it is not game yet. Does he have the play to counter the Call of the Haunted? I thought that Solemn was going to spell GG because, oh my goodness, only 100 life points left. And, he has committed his normal summon. However, he should have, Movies made a mistake. He should have waited for him to use the effect of Altair, and he should have negated that with warning. Thus, he would not be able to use its effect anymore. Because I'm pretty sure that this is only used once per turn, right? You can only use the effect. Yeah. This is only, what's it called? Let's see. Cause it depends. It depends on when he used the Solemn Warning. You know, to me it looked like he used it on the summon and not on the actual effect. He summoned it and he immediately flipped over Solemn Warning. You know what I mean? So to me it looked like he used it on the summon and not the effect. So this could get a little dicey here. If I was a judge, I would probably, if I was a judge, I would side with Sylvia based on what I saw. Based on what I saw. I guess it depends on your interpretation of when he's using the effect. Yeah, I guess now Movies is saying, hey, wait, I used it on the effect. I didn't use it on what's it called. I used it on the effect. I didn't use it on the summon of, the monster, because that's what I was saying. I was like, it'd be better to use it on the effect. That way, if he did have a Call to Haunted or a Soul Charge, he would not actually be able to use, Altair's effect later in that turn, because it is simply a use. And this is sometimes why you have to be tedious on Dueling Network. Every time you do an action, you have to sometimes be like, response. I used to do that when I played competitively on Dueling Network. I would always be like, response. I would go summon, response. And I believe that Movie's intention was to use it on the summon, not on the effect, but that's just me. Alright, I guess Silver's is trying to, he's trying to, I guess, make his case that he did. He says that he didn't say effect. Let's see. Summon, let's see. Response, damage, C, effect. Let's see when he paid that 2,000. He did say effect, but I guess he should have summoned and, no, wait, actually, well, I guess they both say effect, so I don't know. It's like when you activate Solemn Warning, you don't say effect of Solemn Warning, you just say activates. Okay, so I guess he's letting him do it. And, I mean, it's gonna come down to this back row card. Obviously he was gonna use the effect. I don't think that, Maxx C or anything is gonna deter Sylvia from using this effect right here. This is really just gonna boil down to, is the back row card real? Cause he doesn't even need Trevor at this point. He can actually just go Cowboy, which, to be honest, Cowboy is probably the safer play. Yeah. Cowboy is a much safer play here. Cause, with Cowboy, the Book of Moon doesn't matter cause he can just Cowboy you, dog. He can just Cowboy you, dude. I don't think he realizes that Cowboy is a thing. I just want to see if the chat is I want to see how many people are saying Cowboy. Okay, Cowboy or Scoop. There we go. At least one person. Incoming Cowboy. Why is he going to battle phase? Okay, well, I guess he just wants to swag on him with Honest. Okay, wait, if you had Honest, then, wait a minute. If he had Honest, then none of this stuff even mattered. What? Dude, if he had Honest, then none of this stuff even mattered about if he could have used Altair's effect anyways. Cause I don't know a Satellite Knight deck that don't use Cowboy, at least one copy. I think that would just be silly. Obviously he can't use, Dark Destroyer, if he had another Honest, if Movies had another Honest, it's not like he'd be able to use Dark Destroyer with an Honest anyways. So I don't understand, to be honest, I don't even understand why Sylvia why he argued the case so far for the effect of Altair. He literally could have just called the Haunted anything and just used Honest and attacked. As long as it was a light monster, which, as far as I've seen, all he did was run light monsters, so, they're both players called GG. I'm just kind of laughing at that because that was a really strange match, but, I'm surprised Teller Knights, took that. I guess Honest is back in Teller Knights, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you for watching as always.